Well, my heads are back from the shop. Got them painted up. All I gotta do is hope for the best. Hope there's nothing crazy going on there. Said they only did the minimum work I asked them to do, which is cool. So, guess next thing to do is start getting these mounted back on the car. So, I'll be back in a little bit. All right, I got my heads on, and I gotta tell you, the specs on this, the torque specs, are 95 foot-pounds. And the way I do it in 3 increments. So I do 30, 60, 95. And this side was a piece of cake. But when you get to this side with the booster, master cylinder, and all those lines, it's a real pain in the ass to get the specs back there. The back one wasn't too bad, but that one right there, the one underneath the booster and between the 2 manifold outlets, pain in the ass. I could not get anything long enough to clear all that because of the brackets back there and because of the steering column. It was a pain, but I got 95 foot-pounds. I think I spent more time on this one side than I did all the rest of the bolts, you know, just that one bolt. So I'm gonna keep moving along here, and I'll continue videoing, letting you know what's going down. Okay, I'm getting ready to put my rockers on. I already put my push rods back in the motor, as you can see. You probably hear a fan in the background. It's 86 degrees out here in the shop with high humidity, and I'm kind of sweating my ass off. But when putting these on, always use some assembly lube. You know, don't be afraid to overdo it. It's just a really good precaution just to stick it on there. You know, some people say, oh, you already ran it. It's already been oiled and everything. The heads have been reworked. So just to be on the safe side, put some engine assembly lube on everything when you're doing it. It's just smart. Helps not the wear, so it won't wear as soon as you start it up. Start getting it running. But yeah. All right, anyhow, I'll get these rockers on and I'll be back. Okay. I'm getting these rockers put on, getting the nuts just hand tightened back down here until I torque them. Pontiac rockers are non-adjustable. At least these are. You can get adjustable, but these are non-adjustable. So these just get torqued to 20 foot-pounds. That's all you do. You tighten them nuts to 20 foot-pounds, boom. This motor's supposed to be set. Well, when I picked these heads up yesterday from the machine shop, the guy that did all the work said that he really didn't see what my problem was. He said the way the heads were put together, they should have been okay and the cylinder shouldn't have been dead. And he told me, hey, you should check your lifters, your cam, you know, see if there's something else going on there, because really, he goes, your valve had pitting in that, but it wouldn't have caused the problems you have with a dead cylinder. Well, as you can see, there's a nut missing off this number 1 exhaust. And there's a reason for that. Now, my heads, when I took them in, had them redone, shaved down a little bit, they were nice. They got them in fast, which I really appreciated because I really wanted to get this done. And like I said, the engine guy told me, hey, there's something else going on here. So I was putting it back together. I was checking everything. Now, I put everything back right where it came from. So that rocker's back where it belongs, nuts, everything, push rods, they're back to where they came out of. That's where they're going to live, so they're going to stay there. Well, I'm going to show, these heads cost me $500 to have reworked. Now, I don't know if that's fair, I don't know if that's high, I don't know if that's low. And all I know is I paid them, I was happy to pay them because they did it so quick. And then as I was putting it back together, I started really looking at things closely, since the engine guy was concerned there might be something else wrong. And I'm going to show you guys what a stud nut, a $500 stud nut looks like. Do you see anything wrong with that? You see those cracks? You see that nut's destroyed. That's why my valve was staying open. That nut is beat to heck. Busted, cracked, and mushroomed. That's what a $500 nut looks like, people. If I would have taken the time and just looked at each part individually before I pulled these heads off, I could have saved a bunch of agony and $500. Nice. Well, I have spares sitting around, so I went out and I pulled another nut off one of my other heads. So I'm going to put this on there, and I'll almost guarantee you that valve will stay shut now. Yeah, so if any of you out there is watching this video, I will sell you this nut for $400. And remember, it was a $500 nut. I'm going to give it to you for $100 off. Now I got the valley pan all bolted down. When I put my gaskets on, I just put a couple little dabs of silicone RTV on the edges to hold the gasket. Some people use grease. Just put some grease down to hold the gasket in place while you put that pan on there. Either way works. And I don't know what torque spec is for that. I just tighten it down until I think it's snug. It's just a valley pan, keep the oil from splashing around. So that's what I did. I'm gonna start working on that intake next. Okay, I'm gonna move on to this intake next. I have my gaskets put in place. You see these little orange rings? They come with your gasket set. And I've always used them. I know some people don't, but they hold the gasket in place. They just push them in with your thumb. There's already a provision in the heads for those to sit down in and hold your gasket in place. Now that I'm using an aluminum intake, what I'm going to do is around these water jackets, I'll put a thin coat of RTV silicone around there so the aluminum intake will seal better. I had a Chevy, it had an aluminum intake, and I didn't do that, and that thing leaked like a crazy thing. And I was made fun of by the Chevy people going, you know, all aluminum intakes around the water jackets, you got to put silicone or they'll never seal. Didn't know that. Pontiacs, if I was using a cast iron intake, I would not bother putting silicone anywhere on here. I would just, the way you see it, put the intake on and bolt it down. But since I said I'm doing aluminum, I'll put a little around there, and we'll get that intake put on. Back in a minute. I don't know what the torque specs for an aluminum intake is, so just like the last time, I just bolted it down tight. So my intake's on now. Got my heater core hoses hooked up, my ground straps hooked up. Getting there. I'll probably start on this again in a few days. Get the rest of it together, the exhaust manifolds and all that, and I'll be back with that. Thanks for watching. Well, I'm picking up where I left off on Wednesday. This is Saturday. My parts are dwindling down a little bit, so I'm getting things back together. You can hear a fan, gotta have the fan. Have my exhaust manifolds on, my valve covers, got those on. These exhaust manifolds were a pain because I took it off with the head all in one piece and I didn't put it back on. I put the head on first, and with that Z-bar down there for the 4-speed and the starter, I had to take all that off to get that exhaust manifold up there. Man, I didn't know it was going to be that difficult. So that was really time consuming there. I'm starting to put the accessories back on. Nothing's tight yet. I'm going to go ahead and continue moving along here. I'd really like to get all these pulleys and belts and everything on and get that taken care of. And then I'm probably going to go take a break, walk in the house. It's 92 out with high humidity, and it's really kicking my butt, which high humidity always does. But yeah, keep on moving here. I'll try to get this together, and I'll be back in a little bit. Okay, there we go. Pulleys, brackets, belts, fan, all on now. Getting so much closer. Like I said, now it's time for me to go take a cool off break. There's not much more to go here. Distributor, carburetor, plugs, the hoses of course, refill the coolant system, and get the top all back together with the plug wires. Then I have to retime it and everything, but I'll be back with the rest of it here shortly. Okay, I've got it all back together. Now remember, the carb is not set. I don't have the choke set. I don't have the fuel air mixture set. I don't have the timing set. I don't have the dwell set. You know, we're going to see what happens when I try to start it up. This could be a major fail, and it could start right up. I mean, I'm pretty close on my marks. The distributor still is very movable, so I'm not sure, but that's about where it was when I had it running the first time, before everything went to hell. I filled up the coolant system. I still short about a half a gallon, so I have to run in town and get some, but I don't see any water leaks. Hopefully there's not going to be any gas leaks. And let's give it a whirl, shall we? Like I say, this could be a major fail. Holy shit, that's close. Now that makes me feel good. The back of it though, there's a lot of water and unburnt gas from before coming out the mufflers and tailpipes. I can smell the coolant that got down into everything. You know, the pistons and stuff when I pulled them and that, pulled the heads off. But yeah, I think I'm gonna go back now and cool off a little bit more. And I'll come back out and set that dwell, set that timing, and then I'm working on getting that carburetor set up. And it sounds like I'm good to go now. This is very good news for me. Okay, I'm gonna chalk that up as in very, very lucky. I knew the carburetor bowl's still full of gas because I never dumped those, but I didn't expect it to really hit on the first try. So that is very good news for me. So now I just gotta get all this stuff tuned up, taken care of. But until I do that, I'm going to clean up this mess I have sitting around here right now. There's not a whole lot. I've been putting tools away as I had gone. But I'm going to get these all cleaned up and put away and get some antifreeze picked up that when it was under the car, when I was pouring it, I spilled it, trying to fill the radiator up. So I need to get that cleaned up. And I want to get this in the air anyway and make sure there's no leaks underneath it. You know, see if anything's wet under there and get it wiped down, double check it. But when I get this stuff cleaned up, I'm going to go ahead and grab the other tools I'm going to need to do the tune-up. And I'm going to show you guys what those look like and go from there. So hang in there and I'll be back in a few. Okay, I'm pretty sure these are the only tools I'm going to need, but it could change. Who knows? You know, you're going to need a dwell, which is also a tack. So I'll be able to set my dwell. I'm pretty sure it's supposed to be 30. And if you want your RPMs around 900 to 1,000, this is the thing for me to use because I don't have a tack. Timing light. The wrench for the distributor to move it. Screwdriver to adjust the carburetor and the dwell. T is to block off the vacuum advance, the vacuum line, because you set your timing without the vacuum on. The wrench and the screwdrivers to adjust the needles for the carburetor. Flashlight in case I need it. Rags to wipe my hands. And a good old book so you can get all your specs and everything for what you need to do with your car. Which everything's in here, so I'll look it up, find out what I need to do. Back in a minute. And a Mountain Dew, because I'm not a beer drinker. I gotta have my Dew. Yeah, it's diet, doctor insists, because I'm fat boy. Okay, the book's telling me for my timing, since I have a manual trans, it's telling me I need to be on 10 before top dead center. So I'm gonna set my timing at 10 before top dead center. Okay, for those of you that never use an old school timing light, yes, I'm old school. What you're gonna do is you're gonna put your clip around number 1 spark plug wire. Then your positive and negative clips are gonna go in your positive and negative battery. Then you have your timing light. And if you come down here, you'll see numbers and marks. There's a mark on that harmonic balancer. And what you're gonna do is you wanna set this to 12. Or was it 10? I'll have to go back and look. But you can see there's an 8. Between the 8 and the 12, there's another mark. That's your 10. So it goes 8, 10, 12. So that's what we're gonna go for. We're gonna set that up. And I'm gonna show you how that works. Before you can set your timing though, don't forget this. I'm going to show you where this goes. Your vacuum advance is plugged into your distributor. There's a rubber hose going down there. You're going to pull that rubber hose off there, just like that, and you're going to put that T in there. It's kind of hard to do with one hand, but you're going to take the T and you're going to plug that line up. Now you can go set your timing. Okay, it's kind of loud, but you can see that mark's way down there. We need to bring that mark up there to that 8, between that 8 and that 12. So that's what we're going to do by turning the distributor. Right there you can see, got that mark set there. You have to bring it down just a bit. And we're going to tighten that distributor down right there. Okay, again, old school. I'm running points, not electronic points, no computers running this thing. I've got to set these. Now, according to the good old book over there, it says my dwell is supposed to be at 30. So all you have to do is look down here and you see V8 at the bottom, or 8-cylinder, and you want that dial on 30. So that's what we're going to do. And there is a RPMs and there's a dwell. We're going to the dwell. We're going to set that to 30 down here on the bottom line. And these are very simple hookup. The black is a ground. The green goes over to the wire coming out of the distributor and going to the coil, or coming from the coil going to the distributor, whichever way you want to look at it, it's the same thing. So you're going to put it on that wire. Normally it's a black wire. So let me get this set up and we'll see what we got. Just like that. I hooked the ground up to the ground on the choke. I will not be setting the choke today because it's really hot. It's going to be a while for I can set that. And the green goes over there to the black wire coming from the distributor, or going to the distributor, whichever way you want to look at it. And hopefully when we start it, we're going to be on that 30. If not, I'm going to grab the screwdriver. I'm going to open up this little window, and you can see points in there that's adjustable. And we will turn those points with the screwdriver. Just take this out way. We're going to turn those points right there with a screwdriver until we're on 30. So let's see what we got. gonna go over here and grab this screwdriver. I can hear exhaust leak. I'm gonna put that on there. I'm gonna turn that to 30. Like that. We're on 30. That's where we're gonna stay. And you can check the RPM by flipping it. 30. RPMs are at 1,000. And to do that, I got to move the gauge to the other side, but I'm going to bring the idle down just a little bit. Just bring that idle down. I'm going to take this screw and back it out. Right there. Backing it out a little bit. Let's see what we got. Yeah, we're about 800. I want to bump that up a little bit more. Just a little. We're like 850. Starting to get smoky in here. Again, we're just going to bring it up. Good enough. That's where it's going to stay no matter where it is right now because I like the way that sounds. I can hear an exhaust leak. And there's 900. Check our dwell again. Yep, we're at 30. We're done setting the dwell. Now to put the window back on the distributor. One of the other tools I forgot to bring over is the vacuum gauge. This is how you're going to set your carburetor. Right here. This is going to set everything. Well, air-fuel mixture, not everything. These two are going to set my float height. And I'm going to go right now and see what my float height is. And I'll show you what that is. Right there in that window, if you rock your car, you should see gas slash. See, that's a little low to me. I don't like it that low, but people say that's where it's supposed to be. I like it a little higher. And on the back window, you gotta go to the other side to see the back. Or you can even see the front and back here if you like, but the back window right there, same thing. You see it slosh, it's like really close, but I would like a little more out of that. So what I'm gonna do is adjust this, and I'll show you what that is. What you're going to do is grab your 5/8 and a big screwdriver. Okay, right here on top of the carburetor, you'll see a place for a screwdriver and a place for your wrench. Both front and back, primary, secondary. That's why they call it a double pumper. Pretty cool, huh? But anyway, you'll put this on here. I can't do this one-handed. The screwdriver will go here. The screwdriver will loosen up this lock bolt. You'll turn this to where you want it. And then you'll take the screwdriver and tighten down that lock bolt. And once that's locked down, you're going to start it, run it, and see where your fuel height is. So let me get that moved here and let's check it out. Okay, let's see what that adjustment did. Front's still low. The back's not bad now. But I'm going to bring him out just a little bit more. Now let's see where we're at. I do like the back, but I still ain't crazy about that front. But you guys get the idea. So I'm going to open this up a little more and try to get it up there. And once I get it dialed in, I'll show you how to set the air-fuel mixture screws. Man, it's getting warmer and warmer in here. Not to mention all these fumes. But this gauge plugs into the front of your carburetor in one of the ports. And this is all you have. It's just a vacuum gauge. And you're going to read it. At least I'm going to try to read it. And what you're going to do is these little bolt screws, there's one in every corner. That's your air fuel mixture screws. You're going to sit there and adjust those. And I'll show you here on the vacuum gauge, but you're gonna turn them until you get your most vacuum. And when you start losing it, you're gonna back off a little bit. I have to video this because I lost my footage of me adjusting those air fuel mixture screws. So I don't have that footage, so sorry. Hey, I'm back. I want to tell you one other stupid thing I've been doing, which I just realized. I was telling you it's in the 90s out here in the garage with high humidity, and it is. But the one stupid thing I was doing, so let me flip this camera around and I'm going to show you. I'm blocking that radiator with all those blankets covering the nose so I wouldn't scratch it and have no air movement through this car. So I turn the fan around, get some air in this radiator. I'm overheating this thing, and I think it's actually vapor locking on me. I'm gonna let this thing cool down before I do anything else. But yeah, it's all dialed in. To me, it's ready to go. I just gotta set that choke. And like I said, I can't really do that. I'll be like most people and just disconnect it and set the butterfly wherever they put them in the summertime. You don't drive these in the winter anyway. And hopefully I'll get this out in the next few days, go drive it. And if everything seems to be okay and everything's running right, I'm gonna change that muffler that I blew up, which I am not looking forward to, but gotta do it. And it is getting smoky in here from all that, and my eyes are burning, and I'm gonna go take a shower and call it a day. Thanks for watching my videos, and if you like them, please hit the like button and share. You know, pass it on to other people, let them know. The more subscribers I get, the more I can build this channel. And when I get this thing all dialed in, and it's still gonna be a while, I'm going to hit that Mustang. I ordered some parts today that my wife don't know about. I'll just tell her they cost $39.50 and leave it at that. I still have to make a bracket because when I put this on the carburetor with my air breather, when I drive it, the shaker wants to turn because this wants to turn a little bit. So I'm actually going to connect a bracket to this and connect a bracket somewhere on this intake. You know, just a little small bracket so that it'll stop it from spinning. And I think the perfect spot would be right where those bolts right there are. I think that would be perfect, just to run a bracket up to that so it won't spin, turn. That way it looks right on the car when you're driving it instead of looking crooked. Again, thanks so much for watching. Later.